Today, I'm going to talk about the current state of the market and a few important things coming over the next week or two that may have an effect on our investments and the market. So overall, the market's doing relatively well. Of course, a lot of the players that were packed yesterday, which was, let's say, 82 to 88 or 89, are lower than they were before and are sort of staying at those prices, stabilizing now, which is good, not crashing that much further, but they're definitely not increasing a lot in price. And that's because a lot of people packed players, sold them off, took those coins, and then put them towards players to increase the quality of their teams. Now, people were and still are picking up players that are the best in their position or some of the best in their position, but it's also important to note that it also is more highlighted on positions that we haven't got free players for or easily accessible players. For example, the center mids have gone up, but not a crazy amount because people do have the free Bellingham, so he's already occupying one of these center mid spots. For the people who love to cross in game, Haaland ranked up maybe once or twice is actually incredible for headers, so that's to be expected, but he's also a player that's occupying some people's striker role. The fact that we can now get a free Ake is essentially occupying that left back role, so people have those filled. If people have a formation with a left mid and a right mid, we already have Diaby and Ribéry, so there's a lot of great free players we've gotten over the past little while. So people are taking their coins and funneling them into the best players in the position, but in the positions that they don't currently have occupied. One of the main ones is goalkeeper. Oblak has gone up to the low 40 millions after being in the mid to high 30 millions for the past little while, and that's because he's the highest rated and one of the best goalkeepers in the game. And for those who have a smaller budget, someone like Cech, who's great in game, has seen a ton of demand. Even the ranked up version is doing decently well. The other position to look at is right back, because we have tons of left backs, but not too many right backs. I mean, we had the Kyle Walker, but Carlos Alberto is in a huge amount of demand, and so is, of course, his ranked up version. He's actually approaching 70 million coins, which is crazy to think because there's not many players in this game that are going for that many coins. I remember like a week ago now, I said when he's out of packs, he's going to go up in value. I wish I bought him because at that time, I think he was about 40 million. We would have made 30 million coins, but it is what it is. Another position that has seen a crazy rise is CDM. Of course, we have Mateus here, he went from like the low to mid 30s this week, all the way up to have seen him sell around 40. Now, I actually bought a ranked up copy, so I have an extra copy, but I'm going to hold on to it because I think he could go past the 40 million coin mark. Of course, his base version is also seen a bit of a rebound yesterday after going down to about 12 million coins. I've seen a few sales at around 14.5, closer to 15 million. But because he's the best CDM in the game and most people only run one CDM, he's the main one seeing that price increase. The other position that a lot of people have said, even in the comments, that there's not many options for is right wing. Of course, a lot of people got the free Chiesa, but a really good right wing that has good stats, good high overall. Jairzinho, Garrincha are the main ones. As you can see, Jairzinho, insane demand, 47 million for a 92 rated card, 228 people trying to buy him, and Garrincha is almost at 60. In the striker position, we have the main man Puskás. I've seen him work his way up to about 90 million. Of course, his prices always vary throughout the day, but he went from, I think it was 17 that he was being sold off at, 16.5 yesterday, all the way back up to 19. Now, I didn't add any left wings here into my watch list, but left wings have been doing fairly well. They just don't have the same explosive growth that the right wings and the rest of these players do. So everything that was expected to happen has happened so far, and I do think this price increase will continue for the next few days at least. We might get a new event on Wednesday, or at least new players and packs. That could shake things up a bit, but there are a few things that could happen later this week that could shift the market quite a bit. We'll talk about that later in the video, but if you're someone who's investing in these cards, I would think about it as a more short-term play, maybe the next 3 to 4 days, because things might get a little crazy this weekend. But before we get into that, I want to quickly talk about the UCL cards. We have Haaland here, who dropped down to, I believe it was like the high 30s for a little bit, which is pretty crazy, him being a 94 rated card. And then we also have Bellingham, who dropped down to the low 20s. I think I saw his lowest at 22.5 maybe, or 23. I actually bought an extra copy here at 24. And the reason why is because I just still think that Bellingham is one of the best center attacking mids in the entire game. But not only that, he is a live card, and if Real Madrid do well in the UCL, he's going to get upgrades. Now, the next time he could get a guaranteed upgrade is going to be after the matches that happen on November 28th, I believe. So it's only about a week away that we could be seeing him go from 93 to 94 because Real Madrid have already won their first match. All they have to do is win a second, and then he'll be guaranteed the upgrade. So because of that, if he does move up to 94, I could see him going back up to 30 million, maybe past the 30 million coin mark. And I think we might see a very similar price movement with Haaland, because if he goes up to 95, he's going to be joint highest rated in the entire game with Pele. So those are just some things to keep in mind. Now, of course, nowadays, we could always go and just invest in the green rank version of players because they're now not too far off from the base, but it does require more coins and can be a little bit more of a risk. But one rule I would most certainly stick by if you guys are investing in these cards, hoping they go up in value, is only buy base or one ranked up. Never go past to the second rank to the blue rank, because for a lot of these high-end players, their price ranges aren't being updated, and so you just can't sell them whatsoever. Now, I know it's a bit of a crazy thing, but there's literally 5 players on my team that I would love to rank up to blue rank, and I have the Mascherano's for, but won't because I'm worried I won't be able to sell them. Oblak, Mateus, Bellingham, Charlton, Zico would probably take me to 94, 95 overall. I'd be able to train them up to level 15, but I'm not willing to do that right now because I know they can't be sold on the market if I need to sell my players. So for you guys, if you guys are building a team and you have a lot of 90 plus rated players, or if you guys are investing, make sure you stick to the base or the green rank. Don't go further than that because things could get a bit messy. Although if EA ever decides to properly update the price ranges for blue rank and above, then that would be different. But for now, because they're not doing that, I wouldn't even bother. A great example of this is Mbappe. He wasn't selling at like 95 million. Now he's up to 111 and still isn't selling. And the reason why is because they have attached the higher ranks to his base rank. So I believe it's a 1.8 multiple of his base rank price. So because he went from 55 to 65 million, his base has also gone up to 111. For some reason, they adjusted it for the blue rank, but still haven't for the rest. So keep that in mind, but just keep that in mind going forward. But with that being said, the final market thing to talk about before we get into the stuff that's going to happen in the next week or two is, just as I said and had predicted, Mbappe is working his way up to 65, 70. I've seen a couple sales at around 68, 69. Ronaldo is now at 60 million, working his way up to 65. Maldini is now at the 40 million coin mark, and Hullet is also at the 40 million coin mark. So these guys are all the best in their position, and their prices are going to reflect that. So that's the current state of the market, but there are a few things that could shift things up going forward. The first thing is that in a few days' time, many people will be able to claim 1 or 2 of these Mascherano's free to play. They cost 200 of the points. Now, of course, you can go and just spend coins to get points and get them. It will cost roughly 16 million coins. No, not roughly. Exactly 16 million coins to get a Mascherano, but they're also able to be acquired free to play. Now, this might shift up the prices of ranked up versions of cards. We'll have to see when that happens. It likely won't happen for the next week or so. And then, of course, we also have Team 2 coming out in about 3.5 days' time. I believe in the next day or two, 92 Zidane will be able to be claimed, so keep that in mind. That might shift the prices on center attacking mids. We have a brand new round of mystery signings, which will be coming out in the next few days, but more importantly, we also have new milestone rewards. The first one is a 91 Mascherano with a 90 rated tradable card. Tradable is a key point because these guys can be sold off on the market, which might cause some waves, but of course this won't happen for the next until 3 weeks from now. The second one is 91 untradeable with 2 Dudex, and then the final one is 92 with 1 Dudex. Now, what makes me, I'm a bit curious because in 3 weeks time, we still have many months more of playing this game. And if 92 is where we're at right now, are we going now to 94? Will everybody get an R9? Will everybody get, maybe we get to 95 and a Pele or something crazy? It's going to be interesting to see, but I gotta say, these milestone rewards are one of the best things they've added to the game because it does give people Dudex and Mascherano's to rank up their players, plus great players to add to their team. So when that comes out, that will mix up the market a bit. But with that being said, the final thing I want to talk about today, and this could be the thing that really shifts the market this weekend, is there may be a Black Friday promo. Black Friday is this Friday and Cyber Monday is the Monday following. And so this weekend we might have a promo where they release a bunch of packs They in the past have done, I think it's called like lightning round packs or lightning offers, where there's tons of packs in stores, there's tons of ways to get free packs and free cards and whatnot. And if that happens, that's going to mean one of two things. One, with all of those packs being opened, there's going to be a ton more cards on the market. So that means that even, not even the 82s to let's say 85, 86s, but even the 88s, the 89s, maybe even the 90 rated cards, tons on the market. And probably the ones that we'll see the most of is a lot of the UCL cards. We saw a ton of these guys come out in the Division Rival rewards, and I'm sure a lot of these will be packed again on Black Friday. Now, like I said, this is assuming that we're going to get an event. They haven't announced anything yet. They actually have announced something that I'll talk about here quickly in a second. But if we get tons of packs coming out, that's the first thing. There's going to be tons of supply on the market. The second thing is there's going to be tons of coins now in the game. People will have way more coins than they had before, and the same thing's going to happen to the high rated players that has happened now after Division Rivals. We're going to see guys like R9 go from 60 to maybe 70 million. It's going to be explosive. Of course, like I said, this is assuming that we do get to the event. You never know, but I'll make sure to make a video if they do announce it. And speaking of EA announcements, they just announced a new thing coming out soon, which is Rivals. It looks like with the blue and red colorway that it's going to be a Man City, Man United kind of clash. It could extend past the derby and go to the El Clasico, and I can't remember the German derby name, but between Bayern and Dortmund. If they do that, we're likely to get players from those teams, which are incredible teams. We could see another Bellingham, another Holland, maybe a new Kane even, because he's playing for Bayern. So we'll have to see when that comes out. I assume it's going to come out Wednesday, because now they're usually putting out teasers 2 days before the event. So if they put out more info, I'll cover that in the next few days. We don't know if it's going to be an event or if it's just going to be packs in store and new players. Either way, it's going to be exciting, and I hope you guys are enjoying the game. With that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.